The Online Entrepreneur Motivation Series, discussing ideas, strategies, and mindsets to help online entrepreneurs become more successful. And if you really want success, if you want to do something that's going to elevate you to the next level and do something that the average person just isn't doing, today's topic is key, and that is your ability to focus your mind. This day and age, today's world, there have never been more distractions for human beings to deal with. We are constantly being bombarded with instant messages, text messages, checking our email, phones ringing, you name it. Our focus and our attention is being diverted in 100 different directions at all times. And this has a huge negative impact, especially on entrepreneurs who need to be extremely productive and extremely efficient if they want to build a successful business. So if you want to build a successful business, and if that's your goal and that's what you're doing right now, then you already know instinctively that focus is going to be one of your absolute most critical pieces to that success puzzle. And you have to start by realizing what focus is. Focus is actually a mental faculty. And when I say mental faculty, I mean it's one of the ways in which our minds think. It is the will of our mind to have sustained concentration, to think about and focus on and take action on one thing for an extended period of time so that we can build this momentum, this feeling good about a particular task. And I'm sure you've been in that flow state before where you forced yourself to do nothing else except this one task. It could be writing, it could be recording something, it could be manual labor. I don't know what it was, but you focused on it for a while, you started to develop some momentum, and before you knew it, you were heads down and really cranking out great material, whatever it was. That is the power of focus. The problem is, we rarely these days give ourselves a chance to build that momentum anymore. We might get 5 or 10 minutes into a task, and we allow the phone ring to stop us, or we allow the sound of a new email coming in to divert our attention to something new, and we never reap the rewards of this incredibly powerful momentum that we get when we focus. It's just like when you're outside on a sunny day and it's nice and warm and you can get a suntan, but at the same time, if somebody took a magnifying glass and took those same sun rays but focused them and harnessed them into a single beam of light on your skin, it would burn you, or it would burn a piece of paper, it would go up in flames. It's the exact same energy. It's like our mind is the exact same energy, but when we focus it on one thing, we can have a far more powerful effect. And that is the essence of what we're going for. To reach the pinnacle of success as an entrepreneur, you need to have laser-like focus on the things that you need to be doing to grow your business. And unless you're focusing on those, your attention's being diverted in a million different directions, you'll never make the progress that you need to make to reach the really big and lofty goals that you're likely setting already in your life. So realize that focus is actually a skill. It's a skill and a habit, right? If you work on your focus on a daily basis, you can get into the habit of being really good at focusing on things, and it can be deliberately strengthened. But unless you make the choice to deliberately strengthen it, you're never going to actually realize that benefit. So realize it's a skill, and then realize that you can do something about it. But you have to start by identifying things. Most importantly, identify what breaks or interrupts your focus as it stands today. Maybe you sat down this morning to read a couple of articles that were relevant to your business, and you couldn't even get to the first half of the article without being interrupted or distracted by something. Let's say a text message, one of the most popular interruptions that exists. You need to start identifying in your life where all of your interruptions exist and what breaks your focus. And you can start making a list of those things, but even just becoming consciously aware of how your focus is getting broken can give you the insights into dealing with that problem. Then, once you start understanding where these focus breaks are happening, now it's time for you to actually condition yourself to develop a rage or a hate or whatever you want to call it towards focus interruptions. You know the power of focus. You know that white hot heat that you can produce and create amazing results in a short period of time when you're allowed to focus. You need to develop a rage towards anything that causes you to interrupt your focus. And most of the time, it's probably going to be your own bad habits that are doing this. Sure, there are going to be people who interrupt you, and there's only so much of that you can handle. But anything that you can control, now you're going to develop a rage towards it. And you will simply not allow these other things, like an email message or a text message, to stop you. You figure out strategies to, turn the volume down or just flat out ignore it when you hear these signals coming in, and you stay in your mode of focus. But until you actually have a distaste or a rage toward the interruptions, they're very seductive. And you're going to be so tempted to check that text message or to check that email that they will continually break your focus unless you make a point of not letting it. And the only way you can really not let it at an effective level is when you get really, really damn mad at the thing. So let's talk about a couple of exercises you can do today that will help you increase your focus and get you into that level of momentum you need to be at to crank out all kinds of great results. First, practice focus. And this can be anything. It could be writing for 15 minutes, totally interrupted until your timer goes off. So get some kind of audible timer that makes a sound at the end of 15 minutes. But all you're going to do for this time frame is write. You're not going to check email. You're not even going to take your hand off the paper, or you're not going to stop typing in that entire 15 minutes. It could be something else like meditation. It could be focusing on a stopwatch for a minute at a time and not allowing your mind to wander. It can be anything really. Just develop the habit of making your mind focus on a single thing or a single action. Next, work in time blocks. So if you have something that you need to get done for your business, let's say you're producing some form of work for your customer, and this normally takes you, 3 hours because you allow yourself to check email and check voicemail while you're going through it. Well, give yourself 30 minutes this time and see how much of this thing you can get done in that 30-minute block. You might shock yourself. You might realize that this activity that was taking you 3 hours previously really is a 40-minute activity when you focus on things, when you shut down your email and you shut down all other distractions and you leverage the actual momentum that you get when your mind is allowed to focus on the one thing. But make focus a huge priority in your life. Take the advantage that you have, this natural instinct, this natural skill that we all have as people, that when we focus on something, we get into this flow state, we get into this momentum that really we can't be stopped. And once we hit that, the levels of production will be amazing, and your success as an entrepreneur is practically guaranteed.